Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. A week off has been like a month to me here because actually I wasn't well, so I had to stay off the market and then treat myself. But hey, I'm back, alright? Yeah, so just as we usually do, we go through some few pairs and see what the week has for us. And if you watched my previous weekly forecast, I'm sure you should have been smiling to the bank last week and then last 2 weeks, yeah, because all the pairs we analyzed played out exactly as I said or as I was expecting. So this week I'd like us to go through some few pairs and then we see what the week has for us. So first of all, we start with the dollar index and see what the dollar index is doing so far as from the perspective of the market makers is concerned. So looking at my previous analysis, I was targeting this area. All right, this was my target, and see what price exactly got to my target here. So at this juncture or at this stage, I would want to see price retrace back to this previous high, and then I look forward to see where price is going to move next. Yeah, so going into next week, or going into this week, bearish on the dollar index. Yeah, so last 2 weeks, this was the area in which I was expecting price to clear, or the liquidity here, that is where I was expecting price to clear, and it did exactly that. Yeah, so going into this week, I'm expecting price to retrace back to this previous high, and then I would see where price is going to move to. All right, yeah, so going into this week, I'm bearish on the dollar index. Yes, I'm very bearish. So as you can see, price is attempting to move to the downside. So I'll be very particular to see price. I'll be very particular to see price break this low. All right. Yes, break this low, and looking at, we have another block 2 here too as well. So I'm very particular to see price break this low, then I take decision on whatever I want to do with the foreign currencies, or the pairs, or the USD pairs. Yeah, so that is it for the dollar index. Let's quickly look at what AUDUSD is also telling us. Yeah, so let's move straight to the weekly time frame and see what is happening on the weekly. All right, so this is what is happening on the weekly. So just as we've seen previously, price, this was an order block, the last down close candle prior to price clearing these buy stops. Yeah, so right after that, price came back into this order block. As you can see, price came back to this order block, moved up, came back, failed to close below this low, or failed to clear this low, and moved up to clear this buy stops in here, and price is back into this small bearish candle we are seeing here. And we've seen, once price got there, we saw a very quick rejection. So that should tell you that basically price is looking bullish on the AUDUSD. Price is looking bullish. So this is clear. I think this is clear on a daily. So as you can see, this is an order block. So once it got here, we've seen some form of what, rejection to the upside. So going into next week, I'll prefer to look for buying opportunities on AUDUSD. Yes, I'll prefer to look for buying opportunities on AUDUSD. So I'll wait and see. I'll wait for retracement. All right, I'll wait for retracement to this place, and then I'll target this area. Yes. So from there, then I will see where price is going to move to. Yes, so my target is going to be the zone. Yes, then from there I will see where price will move to. So going into next week, I'm going to be bullish on AUDUSD or on the Aussie dollar. Yes. So let's quickly look at what the AUDJPY is also doing. Let's quickly look at what AUDJPY is also doing. So let's look at what the weekly time frame is telling us. Yes, from a weekly standpoint, this pair is bullish. Yeah, it's bullish because we've seen a break in market structure here. There has been price has cleared these stops. I call it the buy stops over this place. So we've seen an expansion to the upside. The next thing we should see is retracement, which is already happening, all right, but it hasn't completed yet. So I'm expecting price to complete this retracement and then continue pushing up. So going into next week, bearish on this pair, all right. I'm expecting price to come to this level and then continue to push to the upside. So let's see if we can see things clearly on a daily as well. Yes, so this is it. So we can see an OT or an optimum trade entry in here, whereby this is another block. You've seen price retraced the first time, failed to even break this high, and we've seen another candle being built up in here. So going into this week, I'm expecting price to fully close, all right, fully close the retracement and continue pushing up. So that will be my expectation on AUDJPY, because look at what is happening here. See, we've seen a break in the market structure here, and then most people call it a W formation. All right, most people call it a W formation, whereby you see something like this. Once this happens, all right, once this happens and it breaks, all right, you expect price to come back and retest at the neckline. All right, that is what most people call as the W formation. All right, yes, so that is my expectation on JPY. I'll be expecting price to come back and then close the retracement at this level and continue pushing up. So that is my expectation on JPY. Let's quickly look at what NZDUSD is also doing. Let's look at what is happening on a weekly standpoint. All right, so you see from a weekly standpoint, generally if you see price consolidating, all right, yes, if you see price in a consolidation, all right, yes, so from consolidation, the next thing you should see is is expansion. All right, so in this case, I'm expecting price to expand to the downside, to hit on this other block and then continue pushing up. Yeah, that is my expectation on AUDJPY. But currently, let's look at what is happening on the daily. The daily is going to be, I think the daily will give us a much clearer picture. Okay, so this is what is happening on the daily. All right, so going into next week, I'll really not be so much aggressive on this pair, because what is happening is not clear to me. Yeah, based on how I trade, I'm not really seeing things clear here. All right, so going into next week, I'm going to be a little bit low when it comes to taking decisions on this pair. All right, yes, because this is what has happened. We took this trade last week. Yeah, if you could remember this, I analyzed this in my previous forecast, so you can go there and then confirm. Yeah, so we took this beautiful trade last week, and that was around 131 pips. Yes, so if price is going to continue to push up, I will expect price to come back to this other block and then you push down. Yeah, so going into next week, I'll just stay on the sidelines and monitor how this pair is going to react. Yeah, so let's quickly look at what NZDJPY is also telling us. Let's quickly look at what NZDJPY is also telling us. Always make sure that when you are doing analysis, you be reactive, not predictive. So by being reactive, you look at what price is doing, and then you base your decisions on that. You don't just predict because you want price to move to this direction. No, you stay reactive, but not predictive. Yeah. So look at what is happening here on. Let's not even go to the daily. Sorry, the weekly. Let's even stay on the weekly. On the daily, the daily is giving us a much clearer picture in here. Look at what is happening on the weekly. Sorry, on the daily. Price. We saw price in a consolidation, and then the next thing we saw was expansion, and then we saw a little bit of retracement back into consolidation and then expansion. All right, and currently this candle is telling us that price is retracing. All right, we are still bearish. We are still bearish on this pair, even though here we've seen a break in the market structure here and an expansion to the upside. So we're expecting that these liquidity voids will be filled up back to this level before we see a continuation to the upside. Yeah, so currently we are bearish on NZDJPY. So let me show you something on the 4-hour time frame. I think last week we took a very beautiful trade too on this pair too as well. Yeah, yes. So already we are in sales. Yes, already we are in sales. Yeah, those in my community will testify that I called price from this level. Yeah, and we've already taken our first take profit. Yes, and so we are expecting price to get to this level. So this is what it is about 219 pips. Yeah, so going into next week, I'll expect price to retrace to this other block. Yes, to trace to this other block. Once I see this, I'll just take my entry with about 29.30 pips stop, and I'll target this, which is going to give us about 164 pips on our new entry. Yeah, so that is my expectation on NZDJPY going into this week. Yeah, let's look at what is happening on USD CAD too as well. Okay, so just as we analyzed dollar index to be in a very strength, all right, the dollar index and then the USD CAD are positively correlated pairs, and as a matter of fact they move in the same direction. So if we are targeting a bearish dollar index, we should see the same thing happen on USD CAD. And this, I also analyzed this pair in my previous analysis. You can go there and confirm. All right, this was my target. All right, price was somewhere around this place, and look at beautifully what happened in here. We saw consolidation and we saw an expansion. Price came back to the consolidation zone and we saw a quick expansion to the upside. All right, yes, so we took this trade. All right, I called out this trade. That was that was when I was not even well. That was last week. I wasn't even well. So what I told my community, all right, I told my community to focus on getting buy opportunities on USD CAD, and I think that was the only signal or trade signal I posted last week. And look at what happened. That was a very beautiful buy. And if you took this trade, trust me, I think you should be smiling to the bank. So that was about 150 pips. Yes, 150 pips, which I think would have served you very well if you took the trade. Yeah, so this was my target and price exactly got to that. So going into next week, I'm expecting price to retrace back to this high, and then we see where price is moved to. All right, once we've seen a break in the market structure here, I'll expect price to move to the upside, targeting these highs. I will not expect price to move lower or move to the downside. expecting price. Once price retraces to this high, the next thing I want to see is price move to the upside. So that is it for USD CAD. Let's look at our last pair, that is CADJPY. For a while now, I haven't really touched this pair because what I was seeing wasn't so clear to me. But going through it this weekend, I think I've seen some opportunity that we have to really take advantage of. So look at what is happening in here. All right, look at what is happening in here. You've seen price consolidating, then a quick expansion to the upside, clearing these buy stops. All right, so that is a break in the market structure we are also seeing. So when we see expansion, the next thing we should see is retracement. All right, so in this case, I'm expecting price to retrace. All right, I'm expecting price to retrace fully to this high. All right, this previous high. This is the last down close candle prior to price moving to the upside to clear this buy stop in here. So for price to continue to move to the upside when the retracement is done, I'm expecting price to continue to trace back to this previous high, and once it gets here, I wouldn't hesitate to take buys to the upside. But hey, currently price is also giving us a very beautiful opportunity, very beautiful selling opportunity that I think it will be so nice to take advantage of. Yeah, so currently this is what price is doing. So going into this week, I'll expect price to break this low. All right, once price break this low, I'll expect price to come back to retest, and once I see that retest, I wouldn't hesitate to take sales to the downside. All right, yes. So let's see the number of pips that is going to give us. Wow, that is around 167 pips. Yes, so that is it for CADJPY going into this week. Yes, so this is the pairs I'll be looking out to trade going into this week. Yes, and quick one for your information, this is going to be my last but one analysis for the year. Yeah, this is going to be my last but one analysis for the year. I think this year has been so good to us. So far as my community is concerned, even though I didn't start posting or recording the analysis as early as possible, but I think so far we've cut some pips in the market. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please again do all and hit the subscribe button and smash the notification bell, because December is going to be fully packed with content. I'm going to have a lot of time to myself because I'm ending my trading year November ending. That is this month ending. Once this month end, that is going to be my end of year so far as trading on the financial market is concerned. So I'm going to concentrate on bringing out content or recording and uploading content in my YouTube channel, and also I'll be organizing a 3-day intensive webinar for the beginners. So if you know any absolute beginner, just let a person know that there's going to be a very intensive beginners webinar. Yes, it's going to be one of the webinars you have never had experienced of. Yes, there's a lot of things I'm going to reveal that most people don't reveal. Yes, so kindly take note. If you want to be part of the webinar, just look through the description below. My community or my Telegram channel is there. Just subscribe to my community Telegram channel, and as time goes on, I'll be able to update you. All right, so just as I said, if you haven't subscribed, please again, don't forget to hit on the subscribe button and smash the notification bell, because December is going to be a month of content. All right, I'm going to tell you how I view the market and how I analyze my trades as well. All right, so this is the end of this week's analysis. I'll come your way again next week. Bye.